I'm joined here today by Derek Brunson, who's set to fight Israel Adesanya at UFC 230. I know I'm looking forward to it. Everybody's looking forward to it. Derek, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. And so I know this fight, it's been in the works for a while. I know a lot of people have wanted to see it. How exactly did this fight come together? I mean, with your last fight falling through and everything.
Yeah, I had a little eye issue. We got it all resolved, and I was pretty bummed out and I didn't know that I was going to get back to how it was. But yeah, everything's good. I just took a little injury. Was grappling. Someone was squeezing on my eye like it was a submission, and my eye was just giving me problems. But 100% good. So I had a fight with Antonio Carlos. I was supposed to fight. I had to pull from that fight, and we were going to rebook it. Then the mouth of the South, or the mouth from across the pond, started running his mouth. So I was like, you know what? This kid want to run his mouth for sure. Let's go ahead and do this matchup. The UFC was looking to rebook me and Antonio, but I said, hey, I want this guy since he's doing a lot of talking. So he was able to make it happen.
And so after the fight with Shoeface fell through, I mean, is this kind of the opponent you wanted? Would you rather fight Shoeface? I mean, it seems there's more hype behind this fight.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. It ain't really the hype because I really don't get into all that. Like, it don't matter to me because at the end of the day, you can say what you want to, but at the end of the day, you got to get in the octagon and you got to do work. You got to show up. You got to be ready to deal with me, take me out because I'm gonna definitely look to take you out and gonna take you out. But yeah, this is the fight I wanted. If it wasn't Shoeface, this was the fight I wanted.
And so you were speaking of your eye, of course. What exactly happened with your eye? I mean, you weren't able to see out of it. You had some kind of infection. What was going on exactly?
Yep. So my eye wouldn't turn to the right. My left eye wouldn't turn to the right. So it was just due to eye trauma. I was wrestling around with this guy. He was squeezing on my eye. So, and then it was just tripping for 6 weeks, man. It was pretty bad. I was like, man. But yeah, it's all good now. So we're good to go.
Yeah. What kind of treatment did you have to do? Was this just a case of letting it rest, or did you have to use something special?
Lose my vision. It wouldn't focus. So just a lot of rest and yeah.
And so how did the beef with Israel start? I mean, coming back to the fight, it seems there was a point you were making fun of his wrestling, he was making fun of your striking. I mean, is Twitter kind of where this all started?
Yeah, it's funny. So I met him about 2 or 3 years ago when I fought Dan Kelly in New Zealand. I was going to Dana White's meeting that he have every event after weigh-ins, and I saw Israel. He said, what's up to me? I said, what's up, man? Chopped it up with him for 15, 20 seconds, and I kept it moving because I was headed to, meet with Dana White. And he claims that I trying to big time him or whatever, and said I knew who he was. And yeah, he was trying to. He was doing interviews and they were asking him about me, or he was making jokes and trying to be funny. So people was tagging me and asking me, what's the beef between you and Israel? I was like, what? Who's that? Who's Israel? And what are you talking about? And then I found out, I saw a couple of his fights. So I was like, okay, this is the kickboxing guy. And I went back and tried to find out what he was saying. And people was just saying he was just talking trash, trying to be funny. But I think I was getting ready for one fight. And he just won his first fight. And they were doing media with him. They was asking him about all the middleweights. It's what about, so-and-so? What about so-and-so? What about Derek Brunson? And he was next question. And he just started laughing. I'm like, what's up with that? So yeah. That's kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I always had my eye on the guy, but he wasn't really worth it at that point because he wasn't ranked. He didn't have, any clout. He was trying to just kind of talk his way to the top. So whenever he became available in the rankings, he beat Tavares. I was all about it. It's funny because this kid, he beat Tavares and he felt vindicated. He's like, oh man, everybody said I was going to lose, blah, blah, blah. Now what? I'm like, bro, if you really thought you were going to win, why are you acting like this? You know what I mean? Why don't you be like, yeah, everybody thought I was going to lose. I'm kind of new, blah, 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 on to the next. But he didn't really expect to win. He didn't really know if he was going to win. So I don't think he believes in this stuff too much. I think he's just trying to talk his way to the top. He got a matchup against a guy who's definitely a better grappler than him. Striking, I don't think he's that much better of a striker than me, so I like the matchup.
And are you looking forward to the build-up to the trash talk? We know you guys had a press conference recently. Are you looking forward to that, or is that just kind of a distraction for you?
It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't distract me at all because at the end of the day, I don't get involved in it. He said, oh, Derek's so emotional. Bro, it does not bother me. You can say whatever you want to say. It doesn't bother me. I do not get upset. I got too much stuff going on, my gym, my training, my kiddos, to be worried about what you're thinking about, how you're feeling. We're going to do this November the 3rd. So
When you guys were at the press conference beforehand, we saw you posted a video and then he posted a video. You guys both had a bar together. Well, not together, but near each other. What kind of happened there? Was there trash talk? I mean, what was going on there?
Yeah, it's funny, man. I'm not gonna win the war of words because he got a whole country behind him. Like, it's whatever. It's cool. I beat him up, steal some of his fans. Like, it's cool. So I posted a video because I knew he was gonna post it. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's post it. It's funny, this dude came up to me and he was like talking. He's like, "Hey, Brunson, chill." He was like, "What's up?" And he came, "Let me size you up," and like started like playing, trying to dap me up, give me. I'm like, bro, really? Like, you did all this talking, but you ain't really. You just talking. You're not really like, you're not really angry or upset or really like want to knock my head off. You're just trying to be cool, which I'm gonna knock your head out, but I don't take it too personal. Like, I wouldn't have fought him in the lobby. That's just stupid. Like, I don't do stupid stuff. But I mean, if you really have a legitimate beef with me and I have a legitimate beef with you, don't shake my hand in public. Like, get out of my face, because I'm going to knock you out when we get inside the octagon. But the guy tried to be, like, all friendly. I'm like, bro, you ain't ready. He's not ready to go out there and lay it on the line. He's not ready to grind. So it's kind of funny. He thinks he's in my head, think he got me upset. But, yeah, I don't get upset, man. I know what I got to do. The objective is to knock this guy out and keep it moving. He needs to keep his momentum. He needs to keep everybody believing that he's this great kickboxer and acting like he didn't go 0-2 in glory whenever he fought, legitimate average kickboxers. I mean, he went 0-2 in glory and lost to some average kickboxers. He lost some guys who like are kickboxers, but like these guys might retire, after a fight. So these guys are great kickboxers, but I mean, Israel is long, but he ain't the most, I don't think he's like super athletic. I think he's just long, so it works. He's one of those guys that rely on his natural assets to try to take it far. But you ran into a problem with this one.
And so when people talk about his wrestling, they talk more about his takedown defense, and they talk about how great it is or whatever. I believe you have the best takedown defense in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know that anybody's ever taken you down. I guess looking at you as an expert, what do you make of his takedown defense?
Nah, his takedown defense is what it is. He doesn't really have takedown defense. He tries to run and bail and do athletic stuff and try to roll across his head, try to create a scramble, but it's not like he's out here stuffing takedowns. And besides, whenever I grip him up, good luck with trying to move and scramble or whatever, So, like I said, I don't think his takedown defense is good. Like, if you go to a wrestling match and get taken down like over and over again, technical fall, they'll stop the match because he just got taken down so much. But it's funny because he talks a lot, but he has a lot of holes in his game. Like, I don't really have any holes in my game. I just get greedy sometimes. Like, I go out there and I'm like super aggressive, which is stupid. But I mean, it is what it is. You hear a lot of middleweights in the UFC complaining about, I don't make enough money. I'm not complaining about that because I get crazy sometimes, and the UFC likes the craziness. The fans want to see the craziness. So I look back and I'm like, man, okay, all right, you need to tone it down a bit because you get all off balance just trying to knock people out. I have great technique. It's just sometimes I get a little greedy, a little gamble a little too much out there instead of just sticking to it. So I like this because I have a guy that I can't get greedy against, just like Anderson Silva. Okay, that fight didn't go my way. I won the fight, but I got jerked on a decision. But I wasn't super aggressive because I had a guy who I couldn't be super aggressive with. Lyoto Machida, I couldn't be super aggressive with. Uriah Hall, I couldn't be super aggressive with. So those guys I all did fine with. Okay, this guy is maybe a tad bit quicker Anderson, but less MMA awareness, no jiu-jitsu. Anderson Silva, you take him down on the ground, this guy is nasty on the ground. You have to worry about a lot of stuff coming. You know how to slow down your punches. You know how to throw elbows from the bottom. He's just super veteran. This guy has nothing on his back. I mean, he's basic. I see him throw up a triangle. It didn't look half bad, but I'm not really worried about catching me in a triangle. I'll pick him up and spike him on his head. So, yeah, just definitely looking forward to the fight.
And so I'm sure you're still working out your training camp, but what kind of camp are we looking at? Are you going to be in New Mexico? I believe you have your gym in Wilmington as well. You've been to Atlanta, I think, for some training. What's sort of the plan for you?
I'm working on that right now, man. I got some, like I said, I've been doing my research. I have my coaches doing the research. We're just breaking out some film, watching this guy. I'm aware of the two opponents who beat him last. I've been in contact with those guys, so either I'm going to have them a part of my training camp at some form. So I may fly guys in. I might go out and travel, but I have a lot of guys to help me get ready for the fight. And it's nothing I ain't seen before, long striker guy. I love it, man. I love it. He got a lot of hype. So, like I said, I hope that everybody are still believers or are strong believers of him. So I don't want to hear no excuses once I whip him. I don't want to hear anybody making excuses for him. I don't want to hear any of that. I want everybody to be like, oh, okay, well Derek delivered, because we had a lot of hype on this guy. We believed in this guy.
And so, speaking of guys you're going to be training with, of course, I have to ask this question. I mean, Israel, he's 6'4", he's a long striker. Is there going to be any work with John Jones, you think, for this one, or are you still working that out?
Still working it out. I talked to John, trying to see what his timetable was like. But yeah, still working it out. But it's funny enough. I trained with John for so long, and this guy is like kind of like John. It's funny. He doesn't like being compared to John Jones. And if we're going to be fair and compare him to John Jones, he's not a better striker than John Jones. He actually is a striker. I've seen some things in his game which I don't really want to discuss because he's given him a lot of time. Like, I need to go change this up.
Yeah, of course.
But John Jones isn't a striker. John Jones is a good striker, great striker, obviously. But he has a wrestling background. He's an All-American wrestler. Like, he comes from a wrestling background, but he has great strikes. Israel is a straight striker. He don't have any wrestling or anything. But I know for sure John Jones' striking is better. And I know how me and John Jones' sparring used to be. I remember how long he was and what I had to do to get in, because John is about 6'4", 6'5", bigger than him. So, and loving the matchup. Haven't quite figured out the camp yet, but I have a lot of time, and we're going to start doing that this week.
And so last fight, obviously, you got to fight in Charlotte, very close to home, a little bit bittersweet, but how was the overall experience for you?
It was good. Other than I didn't get the win, but, it is what it is. Mixed martial arts. Sometimes it kicks you in the butt. Sometimes, you're super happy. But great experience, great turnout. We sold the thing out. The pop from the fans was great. Couldn't have been better. Only thing left to do was to get a win. So hopefully get the UFC back to North Carolina so I think it starts here. Definitely pick up a win here, pick up another win, and maybe we can get them back sometime next year and finish off right.
And so we know a lot of guys, they do like fighting in their hometowns, but we hear that there are some things that bothers them, like their phones blowing up with people asking for tickets, family members you haven't heard from in years. Did you experience all of that?
Yeah, I just kind of told everybody, hey, I get a certain amount of tickets, I'm out. So if you want tickets, go get tickets. If I get extra tickets, I will contact you. Don't contact me. So it's kind of handled like that.
And so coming back to Wilmington, obviously, I believe you're now a promoter. You're doing kind of your own events. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, man, I'm trying to give guys the opportunity that I had. There's not a lot of, fights around here, and it's not that much money. It's not that much money involved in it, and it's kind of good because I don't need it to make money. And the guys in my gym, whenever, it's like, we're trying to get you guys fights because it's so tough to get fights and stay active till we can get to the UFC level to get to another promotion and make money from it. So I'm trying to give you guys a platform to get started. And then it's like whenever they take it for granted or act like, et cetera, et cetera. So just trying to, build the brand, build the sport up and help you guys in the area.
And so when's the next event? I believe there's one coming up at the end of this month. What's sort of going on with that? And is there anybody you think that we can keep an eye on for this event?
Yeah, we have one coming up August the 25th. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And yeah, we have some good guys fighting on the card. We have a guy out of Myrtle Beach, Cody Jones. He's 5-2, I believe. I think he's making his cut to 55. I think he's catch weight at 160. But he could be one of the next guys coming out of South Carolina area to, make it to that next level. And another guy, Chris Hurd, he's 1-1 as a pro. He was 5-0 as an amateur. Out of his he's 6-1 total, 6 knockouts in the first round. This kid really has it. Could be next level for sure. Had a little skid coming out. His first pro fight. He lost a decision. The guy just took him down and held him down. He's not a wrestler, he's a striker. And he lost a split, but the guy had him down for 13 minutes. But he really put it on him on the feet. That's how he got the split. So this guy has a lot of potential. We have a great card lining up and a lot of guys that I think can, make that next push to represent North Carolina, South Carolina.
And, of course, speaking of North Carolina, we do know that you're a Hornets fan. I believe you got to meet Dwight Howard and a lot of the players. What was your reaction when you found out Dwight Howard got traded?
Oh, man, I was like, man, what's going on here? So it's tough, man. Any sport is tough. The Hornets, I guess they're going young again. I thought Kemba Walker would be next to go because they have a few pieces, but I think the fan base would be pretty upset if they let Kemba Walker go.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody. I think they would want to try to go really, really young and get the most for him and get some young players, but I don't think the fan base would be pretty upset. But yeah, it is what it is. Dwight Howard's a nice guy, and I would love to have him at the Hornets because I think he's a very good player. I think he's very underrated. I think he's probably top 3 for sure at centers in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably what Cousins, Embiid, maybe Howard. Maybe Towns, Howard, something like that. But I mean, the dude had a double last year, 17 and 13, or something, average that. So I mean, that's good anywhere.
And so, of course, coming back to your fight with Israel, I just have one more for you. How do you see this fight playing out come UFC 230?
I think I get the finish. I for sure think I'll get the win. For sure, know I'll get the win. But I think I'll finish him. I think I'll finish him in the first round. Like I said, I just got to get back to being smart. I have a great contract, so I need to win fights. Obviously put on a show and go for the finish. I don't want to be who can stay in the octagon longest contest. So look at the finish, but just be smart. Play it out. But yeah, I think I'll finish the kid.